Here, at nearly 2,000 meters above sea level, the soil is dry, worn out after centuries of agriculture. 30 years ago, GEBREHIWOT residents were fleeing their village and famine. But today, there's no need to leave. Every morning, some villagers work on their mountain, their river.
We're building ditches and embankments to protect the soil so that grass and vegetation can grow. If we don't do that, when the rains come, there are mudslides and the soil is washed out by the water.
Abba HAWI launched these projects as head of local government for 30 years. He required villagers to volunteer 40 days a year. His lush vegetable garden shows a glimpse of his vision for the region and its 5,500 people.
Look, let's take these bees as an example. There's a mango tree there, you see. It serves two purposes. The first one, of course, is to provide mangoes, which we eat and sell. But the trees also provide flowers for the bees to come and gather pollen from.
Abba HAWI has recreated Ethiopia's wide variety of fruits and vegetables. He doesn't buy food anymore, and he sells what he produces. His honey earns about 10,000 euros a year. Other residents like Asqual have followed suit.
We have mangoes, we have oranges, and here we also have coffee.
For the plants, water is essential, but rare. This 8-meter-deep well built 4 years ago allows Asqual to increase her harvests.
We have a compost and we water the plants every 2 or 3 weeks. When there's a drought, we only water them once a month. We have 2 wells. That's enough for a whole garden.
And for livestock, Abba HAWI also gets water for his animals from a well. Recognized by the UN, he's traveled to Brazil, Turkey, and even Switzerland to share his experience.
Of course, I'm happy to see my work pay off, but these awards are not what pleases me. What I'm thrilled about is seeing the villagers come together to achieve our goal and seeing other people inspired by our work in Tigray, but also across Ethiopia and around the world.
The 57-year-old who never studied is now teaching at the University of MEKELLE, the capital region. He speaks to students regularly, but also shares his knowledge with the university's researchers.
We want to bring him because his presence alone can make a difference in motivating the pastoral people. The community that you perhaps you have visited is not easy to convince. Not only the natural resource conservation, but also zero grazing.
In Abala village, work just started. The goal, weaken the river's current during rainy season so water doesn't wash away everything in its path. And so villagers can keep some for their fields.
We need the water to pass at the level of the embankment that's over there. So we need the ditch to be nearly 3 meters deep, depending on the location.
Sometimes there are terms that I use from engineering, but the farmers, they don't understand it. But having Abba HAWI in our team, he knows what we are thinking, what we are saying. At the same time, he is able to translate to them.
Changing farmers' habits and rejuvenating the soil takes time. It took nearly 20 years for GEBREHIWOT to reduce its reliance on food aid. And the stakes are high. It affects more than 8 million Ethiopians.